Welcome, fans. We are back live on the Cheap Eat Productions podcast network with the triumphant return of the news show of the week of all the interesting news that we find interesting anyway, headed up by the big bad wolf himself, Mr. Ryder. And this is called Ryder's Rasslin Review. My name is Jack Kilby, no gimmicks guy on the socials. And we're joined today again by the OG of the Cheap Eat Productions empire. That would be Morris Shortle. How are you guys doing tonight?
Wonderful. Can't complain. You're getting the gray-haired version of the Big Bad Wolf tonight. I got back on vacation and didn't get a chance to dye my hair.
Has it been a stressful vacation?
It is not. It is not.
Okay, good.
My pool turned green while I was away. Other than that, life has been okay.
A simple pH issue then. I think it makes sense to start off, Mr. Ryder, since Morris and I had a show with the Cheap Eat alum and legend himself, Mario Mancini, on the passing of Hogan the day it happened. Just want to get your general thoughts on the matter and a couple of specific thoughts. But I guess initially when you heard the news, it was a bit of a shock, was it not?
I was actually on a flight when the news broke, and when I landed, I had 75 text messages about it, and it took me a moment to soak it in. That's a big loss, man. And I know people like, oh, we weren't best friends with Hogan, but Hogan meant more to this business than maybe Vince McMahon. I mean, he's probably the only other one that could be comparable to him. And forget about Steve Austin, forget about The Rock. Everyone revolved around Hulk Hogan's legacy. He created it all. So it was a huge loss. It's very upsetting. And hopefully we can get up to the funeral and say our goodbyes, but I think that'll probably be a closed-door event.
Yeah, did you happen to catch either of the tributes on SmackDown Friday or Raw last night? I thought last night, especially the multimedia package, was very nice.
I thought last night was much better. They didn't have a whole lot of time for SmackDown, so I guess they really went all in for it. It was very nice. It was very very complimentary to him. They put Vince in it, so they didn't deny him as part of the legacy. It was very well done. I think Triple H hit a home run on that one. About time.
You saw it, Morris. What were your thoughts on both of the packages?
Yeah, I think last night's was better, but they couldn't have left Vince McMahon out. And like everything that WWE these days do is attention to detail. So it's not as if that image slipped through the net. It was very much on purpose, and it was needed. And I don't think too many of the crybabies gave out about that moment either.
No, but there certainly have been a relatively large amount. I would use the word shocking amount of disrespect and abuse for the Hulkster since he passed, and it tends to be something that's written off as a part of the generational divide, because most of the older fans and people in the business have really gone out of their way to give Hulkster his due, but there's just some shockingly disrespectful keyboard warrior behavior going on. Even this afternoon, I know a popular fitness influencer by the name of Joey Swole did a tribute workout wearing a Hulk Hogan costume on the weekend, and he came out with a 2-minute plus apology video based on all the flack he got. What do you make of this, Mr. Ryder? Is this indeed a generational thing, or is it just part of the larger toxicity of social media?
Well, it's the toxicity of American politics that spread worldwide and turned into a circus. Joey Swole did a 2-minute apology video. Zero respect for Joey Swole for apologizing.
I don't know who that guy is.
He's a big influencer over here. He's got a lot of followers. He should be ashamed of himself.
And usually a guy that's on point.
Liking an American hero who did nothing to anybody his whole life except build people up, make them money. He never got anybody fired. He never got anybody in trouble. Anybody who worked with him made a ton of money. You know, he made 1,000 Make-A-Wish kids happy. Come on, apologize for
I said,
nothing.
yeah, I said last week. I said probably the only thing that maybe some people won't forgive him for was the racism when he was caught on tape saying that pretty nasty stuff about black people. And I guess some people may take that to heart, but the Trump stuff, what I said to Jack last week, and picking a side in politics, that shouldn't cause a man to be booed, because if you rewind, like, he was long forgiven after those racist incidents by the vast majority of people. So they can't just bring them back up because they don't like Donald Trump. That's my opinion on it.
It's sad that you would go out with such a great legacy and people would try and tarnish it with that nonsense.
What do you think now? Sorry, guys. What do you think now that his last appearance was him coming out and being booed in LA? And it's a shame now, isn't it?
Well, any reaction is a good reaction. You know?
Yeah. I suppose.
I think that was unfortunate. I said at the time when we were talking about it that yeah, we should appreciate legends while we still have them. One of the interesting aspects, you know, that has come out after his passing is there was a lot of misinformation and conflicting information about his health status. And now it appears Bubba had a doctor on, Bubba the Love Sponge, his former friend, and had a doctor on and said, you know, he had a very serious surgery and he needed to rest and relax. And I guess he did just the opposite. And it caught with the beer and the shoot fight venture and et cetera, et cetera. And I guess that really brought him down. But then he's accusing the family of not being honest with his health status. And I think, Morris, we speculated about this on last week's show, but I think it's true. They were probably not given the straight goods to the public, which added to the shock of his passing.
Yeah, it's a personal thing, though. You know, nobody really wants their medical shit out in public, especially when he's at the age of 71. So I don't think he has to disclose anything to anybody. It's personal matters.
He's not the president. It's nobody's business but his own.
Yeah, well, I guess at the end of the day, despite all the maliciousness and what have you, no one can argue with the fact that he was the greatest of all time, and without him and Vince, again, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So I just hope that all the idiotic trolls and people that are virtue signaling by burying Hogan piss off and let the man rest in peace. And not to mention his family. Let's not forget that he was a father. He left a wife, and they deserve some consideration in this too. So yeah, those that are getting or trying to get some kind of social media clout by saying these horrible things, you know, he who is without sin may cast the first stone and piss off.
And I hope WWE's new range of T-shirts and Hulk and Hogan stuff is going directly towards his family in some capacity.
That's a good point, Morris. I haven't heard that. Have you? You must have seen all the new merch, Mr. Ryder.
Well, I still got a lot of new merch there. I sold a ton of it the past week or so. It'll die down in about a month, but it'll be popular for a while. I would imagine they would the revenue share deal on that would go to the wife, I would think.
Yeah. And what does anybody know what the story is going to be with the beach shop? Because it's an iconic place. Surely that's going to stay open.
I don't know. He had a partner at the beach shop, so I think they'll keep it open. And the bar is right next door. Hogan's bar is right next door. So I can't see that going anywhere.
No.
Before we leave Hogan, let's end on a higher note. What's your favorite? I'll ask each of you first before I give mine. What's your favorite Hulk Hogan moment, be it in the ring or out of the ring, but in the wrestling context, not the real person per se?
I think him Savage was one of my favorite Hogan moments when the superpowers or the mega powers collided. Right? I thought that was tremendous. You know, him slamming Andre. I mean, that certainly was an amazing feat because you never saw that before. But yeah, him and Savage was my moment. And I got to tell you, the first time I met him, and I don't get starstruck. Two people, Vince McMahon got me, and Hulk Hogan. Undertaker, all them, just walked up and shook their hand. Meeting Hulk Hogan, he is the biggest dude I've ever seen in my life. Like you don't understand how large of a human being he was until you're standing next to him. He is massive all over. He was bigger than life. It was amazing.
My favorite wrestling moments are always a bit quirky. So the two people you mentioned there, my favorite moment is Hogan versus Vince at WrestleMania 19. I said it last week as well. Absolute quality. My favorite WrestleMania, and the two people that I guess made each other having that match at WrestleMania 19, and the part where Vince is all bloody looking over the apron. Brilliant.
I forgot about that when I was a kid.
You got to go back and watch it.
I don't watch that one.
Yeah, I would say my favorite moment, probably because I was there, was Hogan doing the job for the Warrior in the Sky Dome in WrestleMania in Toronto. That was something that you had to be there to experience, and for that matter, the Hogan Pop in general. The first live show I ever went to was Hogan versus Savage when I was a kid in Maple Leaf Gardens in '85. And for those that never experienced the Hogan Pop and the energy that he brought to the venue, I mean, you just can't, words don't do it justice. So definitely want to say rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, and all the best to your family that are getting through this difficult time.
I never got to see him in an arena ever.
It's too bad.
He was the greatest hero and the greatest heel of all time. Hollywood Hogan was one of the greatest heels of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Two major impacts. Another legend we lost that has a direct wrestling connection too. I wanted to get we didn't discuss this last week, Morris nor Mr. Ryder, is the death of Ozzy Osbourne, who definitely we remember from the golden age of pro wrestling. He was managing, I guess you would say, alongside Captain Lou, the British Bulldogs, in WrestleMania 2. His music was used for several WWE main events, and I forgot that he and Sharon Osbourne guest hosted an episode of Monday Night Raw in 2009. I didn't see that, but people are raving about it. Ozzy's getting a lot of, and he was inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, really putting over the fans, and he's credited for having a big impact on that rock and wrestling phenomenon that started about in '84, and of course the greatest tag team of all time, the Road Warriors, used Iron Man by Black Sabbath as their theme, and that was incredible. So a rough couple of weeks for losing legends. What are your thoughts on Ozzy and his contribution to the business? I guess, Morris, you could start because you're a music guy.
We lose Morris? Is he still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm still here. It's just a little bit dark. I'm just I keep looking over my shoulder
I had the privilege of meeting Ozzy Osbourne in New York back in the early 90s when I had my band. My brothers and I were the house band for L'Amour's, and we would open for Typo Negative, Biohazard, Overkill, and a whole host of big acts. And Ozzy was in town and came to L'Amour's. I got the opportunity to meet him. And a nicer guy. It's funny as hell. He didn't stay long, but he came in, he came back, said hello to us all, and he was gone. But it was an honor to meet the guy. Just an amazing guy. He changed the world. He really did.
Mm. That rock and wrestling connection is.
Have you ever seen Ozzy live? Did you ever see him?
No, never seen him.
I had tickets for him. He was I'm a big metal guy, always was, and I had tickets for him in 2018 in a place called Hamilton, Ontario, and that was when he got sick and the tour was scrapped. And I had the feeling at the time I wouldn't get to see him again, and I never did.
That's a shame. It was unbelievable. We're discussing Ozzy Osbourne, Morris. Any thoughts? Had you seen him live?
Why does my connection keep going, or am I here, or what?
You're here. You're just a little dark, but the sun's setting. It's all good.
Yeah, the sun is setting, and I keep looking over my shoulder because we have a pet rabbit, and it's jumping on the fucking trampoline. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Something going on back.
But no, I never seen Ozzy. There it is now. Never seen Ozzy, but appreciate what he done, and that rock and wrestling connection is badly missed. And let's not forget 2 hit MTV shows, The Osbournes and Hogan Knows Best, which is always forgotten about as well.
You know what's incredible, I think, about Ozzy is in the condition that he was in. What was it, a week or 2 before he passed? He had that awesome, that 2 weeks before he passed, he had that freaking awesome show, and unbelievable that he could perform like that. And during that show, an artist by the name of Youngblood performed, who I guess is the heir apparent to Ozzy. And I always bag on the new music, but Youngblood is amazing.
Yeah, there was a lot of iconic bands paying their tributes to Ozzy that day, from Metallica to Slayer to many different bands done various renditions of their tunes. And I think the concert went on for like 8 hours. I caught the last maybe half an hour of it because I was gigging that night in the pub, and I went upstairs and it was on. But yeah, good. What a way for him to finish on top
They gave
in his hometown.
They gave him a Queen's goodbye in England, didn't they? They walked and everything, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a good run, and definitely a guy that loved pro wrestling. So may he rest in peace as well, and condolences to his family. The next story I found really interesting. As you know, Morris, we've had a relationship with TNA, this channel, on and off for the years in terms of being on the presser team. They're really on a massive roll right now, and they're Slammiversary. Sorry, here I go. I knew I would screw that up. I was going to say Bound for Glory, but it was Slammiversary, the pay-per-view that happened a couple of weeks ago, drew the biggest house in a long time, and it was a really hot show. I want to see it. I have yet to see it, but interestingly, when the Hardy Boys regained the TNA tag titles, Bully Ray of Team 3D came out, confronted them, and said, October, Bound for Glory, Hardy's Team 3D won last match. So I don't know if it's going to be a table deal, and I was kind of surprised because Devon, of course, had some health issues. But are you excited to see them tangle one more time? Honestly, I marked out a little bit.
I think what the problem is, Jack, I think WWE own the rights, and I don't know. I know they're kind of tied in now to the TLC match. So they didn't actually mention a match type. So I'm just wondering, is that anything to do with it? I'm sure that they will be able to use that match because of the connection, but I doubt it's just going to be a regular tag team match.
Well, I think they're going to have the nostalgia with the ladders. No matter what kind of match it is, the tables are coming out. They wouldn't have it any other way. The people will pop huge for it. I actually texted Bubba Ray about about that and about Hogan. Actually, they were very good friends, and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good one. It's two of the best tag teams of all time.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting to me that TNA seems to be exploding in popularity, tied to the WWE, and there's some conspiracy theorists out there that think that WWE is getting closer to them to prevent them from getting a major streaming deal and going to that next level. But I think that's a bunch of hogwash. TNA, it can be argued, and I think rightfully so, is the number 2 right now. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's WWE's plan with TNA. Keep them on side, keep the AEW stuff quashed. We'll have the 2 biggest companies in the world. Happy days.
Well, they need
TKO time.
Space for top talent too. Like you can't send AJ Styles to NXT, but you can send him over to TNA and get a interview by. So that's their plan with it. Use it as another grooming ground for the next round of guys, the Joe Henrys of the world. It's doing well. AEW put on a good show a few weeks ago, the first one they'd ever had that was decent, but I don't think they're going to keep the momentum. So I would say AEW's TNA's number 2 right now. I would agree with that.
That's what they want.
Next is Drew McIntyre. Have you guys been following what he's been saying? He's been on. Apparently, he's stuck in the UK due to a visa issue of some sort now. But I just want to hit you with the first story that I absolutely loved. He's not a fan of that Travis Scott fella that all of us on this channel hate, or at least I do. He was on the Paul podcast and said, "Do a 6-minute run-in at WrestleMania and screw up our main event. Travis Scott, piece of shit." Now, these comments came out before it was known that they had cut ties with the company. Reasons unknown, but apparently he wasn't really giving his full effort into the training deal. What do you make of those and smoking dope on a live pay-per-view? What do you guys think about those, him shooting like that? If it's a shoot, I'm sure it's approved, but and the Travis Scott experiment.
I still, for the life of me, I don't know why they ever brought that guy in. I don't know who thought that was a good idea to let smoke weed on TV in front of children. And
Yeah.
I was back in time, and I don't think all this stuff is approved. I just think he's got so much power that kids went into him.
Yeah, and Drew is saying at the moment that he's stuck in Scotland, but he's just so hard to believe. He said he had a visa problem.
Yeah, you can't work because out of his mouth. He's so full of shit on social media. He's got that down thing. But I love the guy. The guy's a consummate worker. He's a solid worker. He looks the part. Even Paul said on the show, "You're the only one in the building that's a monster. You're the only one left. Everybody else is little tiny guys." So he's a worker. He would have fit in very well back in the Attitude Era with us.
Is there any word on when the draft is coming up? Was that just scrapped or what?
I don't know if it was scrapped or not. They usually have that after Survivor Series.
Yeah, because we're only less than a month away now to SmackDown in Dublin, and there's no Irish people on the card.
They wouldn't do that, would they?
There's no way they won't have that.
Like, I'm just so worried. They're all on Raw.
I don't think the brand split is rigid anymore, so I don't know if you got anything to worry about in that one.
But imagine dropping the ball by not having Becky, Finn, Sheamus, Brady McDonough, Lyra. What?
I could see them doing that. Yep.
I can see them dropping the ball.
Good.
Because in their mind, WWE is the attraction, not the wrestlers. The other comment that he made was the 85% comment. I like this one too. He said, "These days, no offense, but 85% of our guys don't look like they should be in the WWE." I'm like, yeah, they're good at wrestling, and maybe you'll connect with them eventually, but I'm not going to watch it long enough. I changed the channel. It's like, Jesus, guys, get in the gym. Amen to that. And good for him for saying.
Sounds like he's been listening to you.
I doubt it, but he's got a point. I mean, the era, like you guys just said, the era of this super indie guy that the Sami Zayn and the Kevin Owens and guys that you wouldn't do a second look at in an airport, the airport test. Mr. Ryder, you could speak to the airport test. You were still there when guys like yourself looked like they could do business physically. When did this start to change, and did you notice it while you were still with the company?
Not when I was there. This started, and I think the blame goes on Jim Kettner. I think Jim Kettner for the Super 8 tournament deserves the blame because the Super 8 tournament got so popular with little tiny guys that the whole place got flooded with these midget gymnasts. And it slowly, I think by about 2007, I think is when they started infecting the business there. I mean, Jim Cornette was furious about it. He can't stand Kevin Owens, for God's sake. He hates him. But he would tell him to get in the gym, and they just battle out. And then Kevin's worth millions of dollars, so he did something right. But yeah, I noticed it. We did me and Chris Daniels and I, I'm sorry, were sent down to OVW for this tryout camp they were having. And they wanted Daniels and I to be the anchors, like we were going to be the veterans there. So when they had the thing, they brought us to the front and had a real nice speech about us being invited. And the condition that these guys showed up in was embarrassing. It was really, really embarrassing. Some of the guys, there was a handful of guys that came in looking right. In fact, AJ, the Costco guys, AJ Buffuma, that's where I met him. He was there. He came in looking okay. But the majority of them, they were just playing wrestler. They got in the ring with T-shirts on. They got shit all over. Imagine you slide the T-shirt on and you got Randy Orton and all that sitting there. Embarrassing. And thinking you're going to be at that level. So that 2007 is when it started.
You think the tightening of the wellness policy had a lot to do with it as well?
Well, they used to tell me I was 240, and they wanted me to get bigger. I was like, "How? There's only one way I can get bigger, boy. I'm not doing it." I have test, and he's dead. So I might wind up like that guy.
I mean, obviously that was a problem, like the use of the gas, and when we're seeing, so many guys in the 80s that by a combination of substances aren't around anymore. But I think the major point was, I don't think I think McIntyre has been training for an awful long time, is very genetically gifted, but diets and trains his ass off. I don't think he is, he probably does HRT or whatnot, but he's not exactly Scott Steiner in his prime. I think the point is, and this has always been my credo too, is if you're a wrestler, it should be considered a bona fide occupational requirement, whether you're 5'7" or 6'5" to train. Unless you're a large fat, like a King Kong Bundy and Akeem, one man gang, whatever, Abdullah the Butcher, but to not even make the effort. For example, as I've railed about a lot, that Karrion Kross match with Sami Zayn, give me a break. I was watching that, and when he went over, I'm like, no. Karrion Kross would
political.
Hmm?
That was a political decision because of where he was and what he was wearing.
Well, regardless, it was. I watched that and I'm like, click. So I try and moderate the 80s, 90s mindset with, okay, it's a different business. But even the small guys, the cruiserweights, whatever, they can still train and they can still look good. And I point to a guy like Teddy Hart, small guy, but he was always in the gym. He always looked credible, and he was always strong. So I just don't get what the thought process is for these guys not to go to the gym. Hell, I lift 4 days a week and do cardio 3 days a week, and I'm a civilian. So I just don't get it.
Perfect example of a small guy that's in good shape and looks good. One of our own here, Finn Balor. Phenomenal shape. Not a huge guy, though, but chiseled.
He can pass as a wrestler, but I don't think he's not walking through airports and getting recognized. I mean, maybe now, but no one would have missed it for a wrestler back in the day.
But I think what Jack is saying, though, you can, everyone can be in shape no matter what size they are, in some capacity.
It's not everyone's going to look like Triple H, right? I mean, that's a genetic, but you can still look the part. Eating and lifting free. Eat and go to the gym. This is free advice.
Speaking of Chris Daniels, did you happen to hear Mr. Ryder? Russo got a little Vince Russo got a little upset with Chris Daniels because I guess on some interview he buried him and said that he undercut me and blah blah blah, and meanwhile he ended up advocating for him, and he was apparently going to be in a prime spot. And Vince, as soon as he came in the back. Vince was there, said, "Who's this?" to somebody, and they go, "Oh, that's Chris Daniels. He's going to da." He said, "Send him home," because he was small. Did you hear that?
That's not entirely untrue, but that's not why he got. I don't think he got sent home. The story was Chris Daniels was supposed to be the higher power.
Yes, right? yes, that's it. Yeah,
and I think Daniels was not sent home because of his size. He was. I shouldn't tell this story. Oh well.
Shoot.
Sometimes even the best veterans go do stupid shit in locker rooms and get in trouble. So what I was told, and I wasn't ready for this one, is that Chris Daniels walked in the trainer's room, opened up the drawers, and started taking all his tape and taping himself up like he owned the fucking place. And that's why he lost the spot. And I heard that from the boys. I didn't hear that from Sergeant Slaughter. I heard it from the boys. So he walked in. When you go in humble, sit down, shut your mouth, and keep your ears open. It doesn't matter who you are. Don't walk in like you own the place. So that's what happened. That's my understanding. And that's not a shot at Chris Daniels. He was young. He did something stupid, and that was the price he paid for it.
Very expensive mistake.
It was expensive.
Speaking of big guys, have you heard MJF's comments about Goldberg? He said, and he issued a direct challenge to him, saying, "If he wants some, I'm right here." He was critical of Goldberg's thoughts on his retirement situation, saying that it was a bit of a whiny situation. And he said that if he wants a proper send-off, he should be facing a generational talent. I'm right here if he's interested. But A, I'm going to need to be paid a lot of money if you want to see that match. And B, I would imagine he doesn't come cheap either. So a lot of stars will have to align. And he calls it as a huge marquee match in any era. There's been a lot of speculation about Goldberg maybe going to AEW, and I guess that 2-week, I guess it's a non-disclosure is up, so he's promised to talk about his whole deal there. What do you make of that? Do we need to see a proper send-off for Goldberg against MJF and AEW, or should we just leave it alone?
No, I don't think MJF and Goldberg is a good match, especially now Goldberg's 55 years old. I think MJF is a remarkable talent, and if you haven't seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet, like MJF, he's in the wrong business, man. Because that son of a bitch is funny. I don't care what it is.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
What are your way to see it? It doesn't disappoint.
It does
Okay.
not.
But I was going to make the point where regardless or if it's MJF or whoever it is, if Tony Khan comes with a load of money for Bill Goldberg, rightly so, is going to take it and have a couple of matches over there.
I don't know if he would. Bill Goldberg's
I
not
think
hurt.
he would.
I don't think it would draw. I don't think those people over there want to see Goldberg.
It doesn't matter if they want it. If fanboy Tony wants to pay him the money, then he should go take the money.
He is fanboy.
And it's not without precedent, because you recall that Sting didn't really have the best final run in WWE, and he went over to AEW, and they made it about a 6-month affair, and he went out on top. So I don't know. I could definitely see it happening, especially since AEW, I guess, in many ways is trying to be or reminiscent of WCW, late era WCW. I think it would probably be, I mean, Gunther is a great worker, and I think he got a lot out of Goldberg in that match, and MJF can as well, but I just don't know if Bill has it in him again for what is it going to be, a series of matches, a single match? But I would say it's probably more probable than not that Tony's going to pony up the cash.
Yes. Up with the Brinks truck.
Drop the Brinks truck off and sign Lesnar while you're at it, because it doesn't look like Lesnar is going to be back in WWE anytime soon. Did you hear DC's comments about him? Not to go off topic there, Mr. Ryder.
I heard he said he did something, got in trouble, but I've never heard anything. I asked Doug Basham. He didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I don't know. I don't think Brock does anything to get in trouble. What does Brock ever do? He goes to the show, he leaves, he goes to his hotel room. There's even a drink with it.
They should have put him on stage on Monday night with the Hogan deal, just to ease him back in.
Lesnar?
Yeah. Test the waters.
Maybe there's some truth to it then. I think that's almost inevitable that he's got to have at least, if he wants to, he's worth how many millions and millions and millions. And his daughter is a champion shot putter as well. So she'll probably end up in the business at some time. Cody Rhodes, I wanted to bring this up for a couple of weeks because it's just ridiculous. And now that it looks like he's going to get the belt back. Speaking of throwbacks, Cody Rhodes weighs what, 215 or so, and he's the heavyweight champion. So he'd be in the cruiserweight division otherwise, and I think he was for a long time. I I know he's Mr. Corporate, but did you hear this talking about the Saudi Arabia shows? He says it comes down to being a responsibility to WWE's fan base to perform there. And I'll give you the quote. This is a responsibility to our fan base. I don't want to be negative, but I will say that this whole gotcha culture over there, who is a Democrat, who is a Republican, who is moderate, and who people support, none of these things should really be anybody's business, because our business is going where our show goes, which is all over the world, and hopefully bringing people together. WWE is a nonpartisan brand. As we go where the show goes, one of the biggest eye-opening moments when you go to Saudi Arabia is when the fans look at you and the meet and greets are outside the hotel, and there is such a similarity between those who are hungry for WWE back home and those who are hungry for it in Europe and who are hungry for it all over the world. I feel honored, especially in tumultuous times, to be able to go.
I think it was well said.
Yeah.
Do you buy that though?
I do buy that. I think Cody, for all his faults, and I have nothing personal against Cody Rhodes, I think he's a very good statesman, very good spokesman for WWE, and I think he believes that. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Except that it's all about the money.
Well,
I don't think it's about building bridges and bringing people together.
I wouldn't do what I do for free. Like, everything's about the money, right?
Money is just a bonus.
What do you think of those Saudi shows, Morris?
I think they're terrible. I think I'm not looking forward to the Royal Rumble over the 2 nights in January. I'm not looking forward to it at all. The only benefit of the shows is that they do be on a little bit earlier. But I can't remember there ever being a massive surprise in a Saudi Arabia show, really.
They haven't had no 5-star matches. There's nothing amazing happening there. I mean, DX and the Brothers of Destruction have the worst match in history over there.
Yes.
And Goldberg and The Undertaker.
Goldberg and The Undertaker.
Oh, did Goldberg knock The Undertaker out in that match early? Yeah.
Goldberg knocked himself out, banging his head on the door in the back.
Fucking hell.
I get it. It's about money, but I think he's just so corporate sometimes. I have a hard time.
We still don't like him.
No, I don't like him.
Hey, listen, he's not getting the belt back because he's leaving to make a movie with Roman Reigns. He'll be going.
That Street Fighter one. Right.
He'll be going for over a month. He's not.
Well, it looks like John Cena might have to stick around then.
John Cena's definitely sticking around.
What, past his December date?
No, I think he'll stick around to December, and he'll drop it on the night before or the last night, and that'll be the end of it.
Who do you think they're going to? Who he will drop it to? The lizard gimmick guy?
I would love to see
Karrion Kross.
I would love to see Karrion Kross get that title. If anyone is because he is on that, he's on the popularity train right now, and if they start working that angle with him and Cena, it'll skyrocket him.
I gotta tell you guys one clip I seen from that WWE behind the scenes show thing today. They had they were in the writers' room and they were pitching for the Women's Royal Rumble, and they said, "What if number 28 and 29 are in the ring, and they both eliminate each other, and then 30 comes out and it's Chelsea Green and she wins the Royal Rumble by default?" What do you think of that?
Hilarious.
No, not a fan, Jack.
I'm not a fan of having. I don't know why they insist on having in these events that are like gimmick match events. Why do we have to have 2 of everything? Why can't the Women's Royal Rumble occur on another date? Why do we have to have a women's ladder match and a men's ladder match? A Women's Royal Rumble and a men's Royal. I agree with Cornette. I think it buries the men's event to a degree.
Kill it all off. Still on equality.
But back in the day, you used to get a woman or 2 in the Rumble. Maybe throw 1 or 2 into the main Rumble, like China or Beth Phoenix. There was a few people just throw 1 or 2 in.
There's not too many women running around looking like China, though, Maurice.
I guess you could put what's her name in? Why is her name escaping me? Rhea Ripley. She'd be legit to go in there.
She's bigger than all the guys up there. I'll give her that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just as credible as Mr. Iguana. On to the next, another guy I don't like, Boy, I'm sounding old and bitter today. Aren't I?
Oh,
Well, I'm getting salty. Sorry, boys. Have you heard about Alberto El Patron? I
what's he
guess,
done now?
well, according to Fightful Select and that jackass Sean Ross Sapp, the potential WWE, boy, here I go, eh? The potential WWE return of Alberto Del Rio does not seem to be in the cards. He was told by sources that there is a distinct lack of interest in using El Patron, despite the man himself claiming that WWE have interest in bringing him back, to the point where he even told other members of AAA that he was considered as a surprise entrant, which I think you called, both you guys called, in the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match. WWE also have made a conscious effort to not mention El Patron when AAA is brought up on TV to not arouse any suspicion. And one WWE higher up, according to Sapp, said that if the company wanted him back, they already would have used him. And there's apparently some talk, again, I'll summarize, that AAA is trying to phase him out too. I don't understand how some guys get the heat so badly that they're blackballed to a certain extent. We're going to be doing a show this coming weekend, Kingpin Angel Medina and I, on wrestlers that are supposedly blackballed for life from the WWE, and Del Rio is right up there. What do you make of this stuff?
I don't know what he did that he's this hated. I've never met him. I mean, maybe he's just a prick. I don't know the answer. I mean, I know he had a drug problem. He was running around with Soraya, right, for a while. Weren't they getting married? And she was a mess. Maybe he's just got bad vibes coming off him. They don't want him around other people. Bad influence.
I'm going to have to write to his manager again, Jack, to see if he'll come on the show. This has been going on for a couple of years now.
Yeah, that's an interview that I would jump on the chance to do, and I wouldn't put him on the spot because he had such an interesting career. But you know, for a company that's trying to attract a more robust Latino audience, you know, they acquired AAA for a reason. I know this.
Didn't Dominic appear there the other night? Didn't Dominic Mysterio appear there the other night?
Dominic, lose everybody.
Sorry,
we're back. It faded the black on me.
Oh no, we're still here.
Right.
No, we're still here.
All right, there we go. We're back.
No, I was just saying, for a company that's looking to, you know, attract a more Latino audience, Del Rio is over with the AAA fans. He's one heck of a talent. I know there was like some drug issues and some messiness with Paige, and I think there might have been a domestic violence deal in there, but it doesn't seem that it's enough to say we're never going to have this guy back. It just seems to be inconsistent with who ends up not being welcomed back, and some people do. I think he'd draw, and I think he'd be a great veteran to have in that locker room to teach, you know, the Mr. Iguanas or whoever of the world how to make it in the business. And I'm sorry, I Mr. Iguana has heat with me because he stole that George Steele thing with the Mind doll, and I know they're making lots of bucks with the merchandising for that iguana thing, but yeah, it's just a little too silly for me. Do you find it silly, or do you like it, Morris?
I prefer Santino's Cobra.
Yeah, that was tremendous.
But Del Rio, that is a great wrestler though as well. You know, as well as being a good personality, and he's got a great look. You know, I would not mind seeing him coming back at all. I think he'd be a legit champ.
They put the belt on him right away, and he still has nuclear heat, so he did something that no one knows about.
Maybe so.
It feels like a Bruce Pritchard thing. Always look for the common denominators. Who is still there? Bruce Pritchard is still there. Kevin Dunn is gone and Vince is gone, and he still has heat, so it's got to be with Bruce Pritchard.
Excellent point. Well, we'll write his manager once again and see if we can get that interview done, because man, that'll be a good one. Before we get to our last story, Mr. Ryder, have you talked to Doug Basham lately? We're going to have him on, and I know he's a very busy fellow, but that hasn't materialized yet. I think that would be a good one.
He's a tough guy to nail down. He's doing 10 things at once all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've interviewed him twice before, but he didn't respond to my last message.
Doug is one of the funniest human beings I've ever had the pleasure of meeting in my life, and one of the best wrestlers I've ever been in the ring with. He's amazing.
Where's his tag partner, Danny Basham? Where's he these days?
Danny is up in, I believe he is in Michigan. He got married. I think he's a kept man. I think he married very well. I think
we need to get him on as well. He's missing.
Danny's another good guy, another very good guy.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to nail that down, and you guys can chew the fat, so to speak. But our final story, as per tradition, has to do with
Ric Flair.
No, although he's been back in the news lately too, talking about Hogan's passing in a very emotional manner. So I know they were close, so it's got to be rough on him too. But no, Dave Meltzer recently talked about the potential financial context for the announcement of the former Cora Jade taking a break from pro wrestling. And he said on Wrestling Observer Radio that she's having a massive success in terms of her OnlyFans platform. And he said, and I'll quote this, he said that he had spoken with someone who has direct knowledge of the situation and that the number is staggering. I know she was talking to somebody who I know, so Meltzer, right? And she has probably made more money in the last month than any woman pro wrestler in the world, probably by a lot because of OnlyFans. He contrasted the income potential of the platform with the grind of the independent wrestling circuit, which is, of course, the path that most take after a WWE release, and argued from a business perspective, it's a logical decision. Think about this, he said. You want to do these indie dates for what, $1,000 when you're making the kind of money she's making? He asked. It basically makes no sense at all. It's like, going to do indie shows, flying in, the stress, and it's the indie shows and things like that, taking bumps and everything, or just sitting around while the money rolls in. He concluded that the initial surge in popularity and income may not last forever, but it makes the current financial reality understandable. And here's where I think he differs from you, Mr. Ryder. She may come back right now for her. I mean, she's just making an incredible amount of money. I mean, it's ridiculous. So good for her. So Meltzer, I guess, has given for a wrestling traditionalist, he's given the stamp of approval on OnlyFans for female talent. What do you make of that?
I think Meltzer is a mark, and clearly he's joined her OnlyFans because he's probably a pervert. The reality is this: the girl sold her soul, and I don't care how much she's making, she's going to live to regret it. Because that stuff doesn't go away, and she's going to want to get married and have kids someday. She didn't think of them. So make all the money you want. You're never going to have a normal life at this point.
Morris, what do you think? You're a businessman. You've got the strings of some county coffers at your disposal. You know what it's like to be under financial management concerns. Do you agree with Meltzer that it's worth it, even in the short term, to show your bits to gooners?
It depends. It depends on the situation. Like Ryder said there, if she plans to get married and have kids, well, it's going to be problematic down the line. If she doesn't, and she wants to make the best life she can for herself, then so be it.
Do you think it would impact a return to WWE, or is that something that
I don't know. I think it would depend on how explicit what she's showing is. Is it pictures or is it sex? I think it'll come down to that, maybe. I don't know.
say that window is closed. The second they go on that platform, it's closed. Otherwise, what's her name will be back there? Freaking not Trish Stratus, the other one.
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose will be back there.
Isn't Tori Wilson was in Ireland last week, and she was like putting up links to her OnlyFans, or it's not called OnlyFans, but it's called something else. And she seems to be on this now. Sorry?
Tori Wilson was on. Tori Wilson's on there too?
It's not called OnlyFans, but the way it was described because the picture went viral that she was in Dublin and it was coming up all over X, and then I went into her profile and it was like exclusive content here. So,
Oh, all of them. Tori Wilson.
She's
all the ones.
50. She's 54. Did somebody tell me that right?
No, she's 49.
Oh, 49.
She's pushing 50. What I find interesting is they must be getting a lot of negative feedback from fans. Like there's the basement dwelling bedwetters, to quote Jim Ross, that I'm sure are all into it and whatnot. But there must be a significant portion of fans or industry watchers that are critiquing it, because they all seem to have a response, like an FU response to anybody that raises an eyebrow about it. So they if they weren't bothered by it, and they knew that the door would be theoretically open for them to return to WWE at any time, they wouldn't be going out of their way to respond so much and basically be on the defensive. They're by constantly responding and Matt Cardona jumped in and called somebody a stupid mark a few weeks ago. But by responding all the time, they're drawing a lot of attention to something that probably should be just left alone. What do you think about that, Mr. Ryder?
Oh, I think Matt Cardona is a smart guy. He should probably just stay out of it. He's like, come on. He's a good guy, Mark Cardona. I don't know, man. I just think that these people sell their souls to do this, and they're not going to be welcome back. It's mainstream, and it's a publicly traded company, WWE and UFC now, right? They don't want porn stars on their show. You can't take her to Saudi Arabia, right? She'll get beaten to death in the streets. Done. Game over.
Okay, but here's a very interesting question, and it's I guess you could call it a test or whatnot. But if they came to you and said, we want to get you and say Dan Severn and the Godfather to do your own kind of take on that wrestling Vixens gimmick that Missy Hyatt and Sonny and I believe it was Dawn Marie did in the past, could you be convinced to be in a au naturel state because you're not active anymore? Would you have that same kind of reticence if they offer you the big money? Say, I don't know, come up with some name about it.
I would not.
Okay.
Couldn't pay me enough. Couldn't pay me enough. I'm not bashful. I got pride.
Yeah. And now we know why they call him the big bad wolf.
Little thing called pride that I have.
I don't think Matt Riddle's OnlyFans is doing so well. Actually, you haven't heard of many. You haven't heard of many males doing that, have you?
How could it? Who's going to watch a bunch of dudes? What are they doing? Just sitting there and playing with themselves?
Yeah,
we'll have to ask Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer. Why? Dave Meltzer's watching it.
They used to do those custom wrestling videos. Remember? Either way, it's not a pretty picture. Morris, before we close out, what's the deal with the rabbit on the trampoline there? Are you you haven't imbibed any substances tonight, have you? You're not.
No, it's pretty dark now. I can't see, but the rabbit is roaming freely around the back garden, and he was on the trampoline, but I can't see where he is now.
Well, just as long as he doesn't try and enter your domicile, I think you'll be all right. What are you still taking it easy, Mr. Ryder, or what's the deal there for you?
Ryder's taking it easy for another week, and then it's back into the gym full time, and then I got another movie I should be doing shortly. I can't say what it is yet. It's nothing great, but that's my next project.
Is it going to be on OnlyFans?
It's going to be on OnlyFans. Yes, it's $30. I only need 10,000 people to watch it, and I'll be.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Well, fans, we're gonna cut it right there, as we always do, following a story on OnlyFans. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. You may have noticed we're on a roll in terms of all kinds of great interviews that have happened of territorial guys. There's a number coming up.
And Jack, your first paycheck is nearly through as well. Massive money.
I'm ready to retire now. Yes, it truly is a labor of love here on YouTube. But just a quick program note, upcoming this weekend, finally, we will be having the ECW original David Kid Cash, who was one of the individuals who almost got some of this from me for interfering at TWA One and Done in Philly, where my life flashes before my eyes even saying that, because he is a double tough dude. But we're going to be going through his entire career. Really looking forward to that. And like I said, subscribe to the channel and you'll see everything that we have upcoming, including another edition next week forthcoming of Ryder's Rasslin Review. Morris, last word to you, son.
I need to make a request. Can we play the promo with Kingpin for Ryder next week? I don't think he's seen it in person. You know the one?
Oh, the one that we just cut?
Yes,
I will.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. The car promo. Yes. It's a good one. Since you mentioned it, not to bury the lead, but I'm involved in making a match between the man who is on Ryder's Rasslin. Sorry, not Ryder's. That's yourself. The Ringside Riffs, too many R's, show the Kingpin, ECW original Angel Medina, and the Heart Killer Chris Wilde, who main evented at One and Done. And they've got an issue going that we're going to get into. And next week, for sure, we'll play the promo. And it could be promo class, and Mr. Ryder can grade that. I've listened to a few of your promos lately, and you were hot on the stick.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I got that from my mother.
Awesome.
Nice.
So that's it, fans, for this edition. Make sure you like and subscribe again, and we will meet you all back here again next week. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button, and you won't miss any of our upcoming